Hello and welcome to the final Murphy's Market Minute of May 2025. It is Thursday, and again, I feel like with the current political climate and how it impacts the financial markets, there's always stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Keeps things interesting for us.
Yep. So I think Nathaniel's got some good stuff for us to go over today in regards to how some of these things might impact the stock market for all of our clients.
Yeah. So this week the market's up a couple percent, and I think kind of the catalyst for that is that the consumer confidence index. So the conference board published their monthly consumer confidence index, and it came back higher than expected. So it's ranked on a scale. It's roughly around 100. So anything over 100 is like really positive. Anything under 100, less than positive. Around 100 is pretty neutral. And so this month for May, it came out as 98, which actually beats it by a good margin. They were expecting 87.1. Last month had 85.7. So the market kind of jumped on that news.
Yeah.
Pretty positive, especially when it's beating expectations by that much. I think that's the biggest positive of it. And so Tuesday, the market's kind of just jumped up, and then I've kind of really stayed level this week. There's been a couple other things going on. I don't know if you got anything to build off that.
No, I mean, I just, like you said, right? So I just always like to kind of start off with like the major indexes. I don't know if we're British or American, which version of that we do. So the S&P 500 year to date is now positive a half a point.
Yeah, a little bit over, yeah.
Yep, so fully recovered from our low in April, right? Still not, I guess you could say not fully recovered from the high that we had hit towards the end of February.
Yeah, like we're still down nearly 4% from all-time highs.
Yeah, the Invesco Triple Q, which I'm a big fan of, is up 1.84 year to date. And VGT, Vanguard's General Technical Fund, which we also have a lot in, that's still down 1.92 year to date. And then if we go to the Dow, the Dow's actually down today 0.1%, and year to date it's still down 1.15. So it's I was watching the overnight markets, and it looked like things were responding pretty well, and they all are. They're not up a lot for the day. They had popped when the markets had opened and kind of pulled back a little bit from that.
Yeah. I know Nvidia had announced its earnings last night and
crushed it.
That kind of caused things to pop a little bit. I know Nvidia's up like 4 or 5% today.
Yeah,
and they beat their earnings by a good margin. I think like 9.5%.
Yeah,
beat on earnings. Revenues were looking strong, and their guidance going forward was stronger than expected, given like some of the export restrictions to China. So even though it was pretty modest, it was, I think, better than expected. So that was good news. And because of that, a little surprised that the market's actually not up a little bit more today.
Yeah. And I would have thought so. I think you're going to, besides the consumer sentiment starting to climb back up, I think you're going to go into also the court order on tariffs.
Yeah, so that's another thing that happened last night was the Court of International Trade just ruled that President Trump had overstepped his authority in using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Long name, but basically it just applies to all the universal 10% tariff that he's putting on basically everybody. And so they're giving the administration effectively 10 days to take that down. But of course, they're going to appeal. And so in reality, it says 10 days, probably months, and then just wait on what the appeal says. And there's even other tariffs that can be put in place.
Well, yeah, Goldman's saying all this does is it's just going to cause the administration to find other ways to essentially accomplish the same thing.
And there's several other ways to accomplish
the
same thing. So in reality, this is
Yeah, so Goldman Sachs says they still expect Trump to find other ways, including some of the aforementioned methods, to impose tariffs. The ruling might not change the final outcome for most major U.S. trading partners.
yeah, and also like this court ruling last night doesn't take away all tariffs. So there's other tariffs that don't fall under this act. Stuff like the steel and aluminum tariffs, auto tariffs, stuff like that is completely unaffected. So those stay in place regardless.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, though, I mean, I do think that a couple things have occurred, right? One, I think would have occurred regardless. And so I kind of, was, I mean, I don't know. I just think that eventually people were going to get kind of like comfortable with everything that Trump was doing in regard to the tariffs. I don't think it was any like it was going to really like derail the economy or anything like that. I know I'm like one of the lone people that thinks that. I'm just going off of, all the tariffs that got enacted in 2018 and, they got held in 2020 and got doubled down on in 2024. And none of that really seemed to hurt the economy. And so I think that people would have adjusted to it given time regardless. And so I think there's a part of that is going on. Like I think that the longer something persists, the less scary it is, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that obviously the the news about countries coming to the table and deals starting to get negotiated, and the thing that happened with Great Britain and the EU and the pauses that got put in place while they sort all that out, I think also kind of helped lend to all this. So
yeah, I mean, I do think this court ruling, even though ultimately probably won't have a big impact, I think it definitely slows stuff down.
Yeah.
Because pretty much all this, pretty much none of these countries are going to be doing a whole lot of negotiating while, Trump's had to basically put in tariffs through other avenues. So
and I actually don't think it's necessarily good or bad. I just think that I think the good thing is all these countries know what Trump is trying to accomplish, right? And so whether or not the courts are allowing him to or not, they know he's going to keep persisting. He's going to keep trying to figure this out. And it's forcing them to come to the table and restructure things that are going to be beneficial for us in the long run. Having it slowed down, I don't know, is necessarily a bad thing. So, and I think and the markets are built to climb. So,
yeah, and I think it's fine. I think Nvidia is a good example of it because Nvidia is at this point one of the major driving forces in the market, and they're having good earnings calls even with export restrictions and tariffs, and so I think that's shows pretty strong strength in the market as a whole.
And I did see an article about Apple is still down 20% year to date.
Yep,
they're really lagging the rest of what they call the Magnificent Seven. I saw an article today. Do we need to rename it the Magnificent Six? Like, really? A few months of somebody underperforming and you want to kick them out of there?
Yeah, that's kind of goofy. It's kind of goofy. But they are still down like 20%.
Yeah. So, so I mean, really, it's like, things are sorting themselves out. The markets are recovering. We got a little ways to go. I think the rest of the year is going to be a good year. All anybody was really expecting was a 10 to 15% climb in the markets this year, which would be phenomenal, right? The average is like 8.32. So as far as I'm concerned, anything over that,
if we could do 10 this year, that'd be great.
Yeah,
considering we're pretty flat, almost halfway through the year.
Yeah,
so we can still pull out 10. That'd be a pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. So I think we still have just a little bit of cash positions on some accounts. Just kind of for people that are a little more conservative, just kind of letting some of this stuff settle a little bit more. I would think over the next couple months, that'll all occur, and we'll want to, move fully back into the market here probably pretty soon. So we'll just keep monitoring all this kind of stuff and keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So
sounds good.
Pretty quick, short, and sweet Murphy's Market Minute for the week. We got 4 days of sunshine coming up. Hopefully, I think Friday, Saturday. So. No, 3. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We'll take the whole
Was
weekend.
it 3 or 4?
It can
Yeah.
rain. It can rain on Monday. I don't care.
Yeah. So I think that'll be nice. It's been, it's funny. One little personal note. I moved my girlfriend out here from Fresno, California, where it never rains. And it's just brown in a desert. And she got here Sunday before all the rain and the tornado warnings. And it was like, welcome to Kansas.
Yep, that's as stereotypical as it can get.
Yeah. And then it just rained nonstop ever since. So it was funny. This morning she goes, you'll never hear me complain about the rain. But it's get it let up for a minute so she can go walk her dogs.
Yeah,
so
just go outside.
Yeah. It's nice to get outside, and so it'll be good to have a weekend of sunshine.
Yep.
So, anyways, for the final Murphy's Market Minute of May, this is Elliot.
Nathaniel.
Signing off. Take care, everybody.